Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here and it's a special video. It's the 11-year story. Now, every year on the channel we celebrate on March 28th, the anniversary of the channel. Of course, March 28th, 2012 was the first day that I ever uploaded a video to this channel, and here we are 11 years later. Um, so every year, again, we celebrate it. Typically, a video called whatever year it is story. So here we are, the 11-year story. Of course, last year, big celebration of hitting 10 years. Um, but yeah, I'm just super excited. So we're gonna go through each year of the channel from 2012 to 2023, and kind of give a breakdown of what what happened those years, what made that year special. And I'm excited about it. So let's jump into it. 2012, the channel starts. If you don't know how it started, well, here's a breakdown of that. So the first day I ever really started using YouTube was in February of 2012. This channel's creation date is February 25th, 2012. So I hadn't really done much with YouTube ever. I didn't really ever watch videos on YouTube. So it was a Beyblade wiki page for Big Bang Pegasus. And I scrolled the bottom of it, and there was a video. And I was like, oh, this video's explaining these parts, right? Um, and I was 13 at the time, so I was like super excited that I found something super like new and unique. I was like, oh damn, this is so cool. And it explained the tip of Big Bang Pegasus, how it would pop up at a certain point of battle, and explain how you could take it apart. And I was just like, oh boy. And I was scrolling through a few more wiki pages, seeing more videos. Um, and that led me to go onto YouTube more. Um, and I thought eventually I was like, I could do this. I could make a video myself. Of course, the production quality wasn't going to be there of what these people made. Um, everybody I was watching, they had way more stuff to it than what I did. Why do I have this reflection on my screen, bro? Well, that can live there. I think it's the reflection of the light onto my camera. Yep. Um, so the thing was I knew it wasn't gonna be as good, right? It wasn't gonna be the same, but it was definitely like I can do that. So I took the little stand that I have over there now in my bedroom at the time, that I had. Um, a similar setup here. Basically, I had a desk on the side though. Um, and there we go. I have my 3DS recording it. At the time, I didn't have a camera. I didn't have like a smartphone. Um, because that was when we were transitioning to having smartphones. So I didn't have a smartphone. I didn't really have the computer to do it. So 3DS it was. Um, and set it up right there. Aim the camera at the bed, and talk about the Beyblades that I had. Show the battle way off in the distance. The Beyblade Stadium was across the bed, but there was a battle happening over there, guys. And that was really 2012. Um, it was one of those things that I didn't know what I was doing. So I just put out a million videos. And even sometimes, because in my mind, it was just, I was doing it and having so much fun that I didn't know when to stop or how to schedule. Now I've learned the way you do a schedule and the way that you manage it. Like, hey, you want one or two videos a day. And we're working on managing the shorts. I don't want to get too many of those and kind of flood the content with that. So we hit up to like 4 short streaks, and I was like, okay, let's try to pull this back a little bit. But it's that idea of balancing how much content you want out there. And for me, at that time, I didn't know. I did 100 videos in a week in the summer of 2012. Um, my dad had knee replacement surgery that summer, and he couldn't go up the stairs, obviously, right when he came home from his week at the hospital. So he spent the whole time downstairs, and I I was down there helping him if he needed help with something. And when he was just sort of laying on the couch or sleeping, I would go outside on the front porch and record videos, and I come inside and upload. And this was when uploading was obnoxious too. First of all, I didn't have as good internet as I have now. I can upload a video really quick. But 11 years ago, the internet we had wasn't as good. So it'd take like a long time to upload one video. And when you're doing 100, YouTube at the time has its own upload page that was separate. Now it just uploads in the studio. But at that point, you had its own separate page would open, and you would upload a video, title, thumbnail, description, which I never did the thumbnails or description. I had like one tag, and that was it. But that was the whole thing. It was just that. It was just one video at a time. I'd go out, and I didn't have like a schedule. Like, okay, my videos. Now, obviously, they give you a little more stats now than they gave you 10, 12, or 11 years ago, right? They don't. They didn't have. This is the hour most people watch your videos. I can look at that now and know. Okay, most people watch my videos at 10 a.m. Video goes out, or most people watch my videos at 12 p.m. You didn't have that at the time. It was just whatever's working. Because I started YouTube only like maybe 6-8 months after monetization of videos was even a thing. Because that came out sometime in 2011. And I was in, YouTube pretty early into 2012. So monetization was only just a thing. So a lot of those stats and features weren't there. But again, I did so many videos back then, so many Beyblade videos. And it was just, it was quite a time, quite fun just to have that as something to do. So we jump ahead to 2013. And Beyblade is still the main focus of the channel, as it stayed basically for that whole year. And at that point, we hit just continue to make content. I don't even know what I was at for subscribers or views because I don't really think of it. It didn't matter to me at the time. I was just having fun making videos. And at that point, we moved into this house. So later this year, we'll have 10 years of this house. It's going to be wild. But we moved in, and I have my own video making room, which was just really cool. It's the room right next door that has had many changes since then, which we'll get into throughout the history of this channel because that's important. That room definitely put a key role in the channel. So I got that room, set it all up, had it designed kind of the way that I wanted it for videos. It was pretty much, there was a desk along the wall. We had the TV in one corner. We had a chair across from it. I had a table, which I could move to the middle, depending on what videos I wanted to make. This is, of course, when we're shifting more towards doing content outside of Beyblade content, which we'll see more in like 2014. But we're shifting outside of that. We're doing more things at the desk, things over here. Bro, what is my nose itchy for? Stop. So we have more things like that, more things that, just set up in general, more things that were interesting for the content. And I think that room was very, very crucial to that. 2014. So I stopped doing Beyblades when I moved to this house. So basically the end of 2013. Last time I did a Beyblade battle at all until this year. So we had 10 years without doing Beyblade battles, which we'll discuss when we get to the end of this breakdown, how we got back to that. But 2014, we did like a car theme kind of thing. There was a little bit of that coming in 2013. I had a few little RC cars that I did stuff with. So we had RC content for a little bit. We just had a few things. I had like a Lamborghini, I had a Subaru. I had two different Subaru WRXs actually. So those were there. We had a Corvette. There was like some lifted truck, Mustang truck thing. I don't think it was a lifted truck. It was just a lifted Mustang, which was interesting. So those types of things. We just had those, do videos with that, mess around, do whatever, right? That was mostly 2014. It was kind of just a chill year. Maybe just some like jokes, comedy videos in there discussing different topics. But 2014 was a crucial year because that's when I really got to get into other gaming. Now, I'd always played games, right? Video games. But it was something that I mainly played games by myself. And they were mostly like Nintendo games. So I did a lot of Mario Kart. I did a lot of big into Mario Galaxy. Those types of things. But 2014, I got a Xbox 360. Juan and I were able to play together. He had a 360 already. So I bought a 360. And at that point, I could play other games. I could play this one game called GTA 5. So I put a little bit on my brother's house at the time, his apartment or whatever it was, on his PS3. And that was awesome. Playing that, driving around, I was like, oh, this game's heat. And I got to, play it on the 360. And that really led into what we're going to see in 2015. And 2015 is when gaming on the channel really became a thing. So 2015, we had the Xbox for a while. Played GTA on that, did a little bit of NASCAR 15, and we did some videos of that, or NASCAR 14, whatever it was. And we did some videos of it, right? Okay, it was cool, it was fun, but we had to upgrade. And I got a PS4, right? I was like, I'm going to make the choice this year, or make the choice of what console we're going to next. Because one day I had got the 360, but I was like, okay, PlayStation's going to be better than Xbox. My brother already has one as well, so if we want to play games together, we have that option. I want to get a PS4. So I bought the PS4, and then Wanyá joined a few months later on PS4. And the nice thing about it was the PS4 had a built-in feature to record and stream, which wasn't on the 360. Once you got to that next generation of consoles, you had that ability. So I was able to live stream right to Twitch. And then from Twitch, I would upload the videos to this channel, which actually became the recording method for any video until 2020. So you have 5 years of that method. Because you could record from your system as well. But I recorded to my Twitch account, which I never really mentioned what it was. Didn't really promote it, didn't do anything with it because I didn't want people to, know that was a thing. So on Twitch, I would record it, export it, download, edit, upload to YouTube. Whole process. And God, I'm glad I don't do that anymore. But every gaming video was made like that. Once we switched from live streaming on Twitch to I just want to put videos on YouTube. And then YouTube streaming became a thing. I believe probably like 2016. So we'll jump to that part now because 2015, 2016 kind of connected together. After we got into doing the gaming, doing that content, 2016, we jumped in fully on streaming to YouTube all the time. I'd stream, I'd record, both things. Bunch of gaming content. 2016, we also saw Overwatch join the lineup of content on the channel. Just Cause 3. I believe Fallout 4. All those games are joining in 2015, 2016 to the channel. So it was just a wild time to do, again, streaming, recording to Twitch and uploading it, and all those features. Again, you could just record on your console and export it, but for some reason, I thought doing it on Twitch was better. I think because you could only do like an hour, and some of the videos would be longer, so doing it that way got the content out. In 2016, we saw the arrival of a very important series, the GTA Online Race playlist. At the time, I had just GTA Online Racing. I think the first episode was officially called GTA Online Racing with Casey, episode 1. I don't know why I titled it that, but I did. So Wanyá and I jumped into that. Of course, at the time, Casey was his name, so if I do reference that in titles, you do know that. So we played the game together. We played the race playlist. Of course, I changed the names of all those videos more recently to line with the whole series being called the race playlist. because it was called it the race playlist. We just never had the video titled race playlist until like episode 100 almost. Um, so the race playlist, that was big. That was really really fun. Him and I doing just a bunch of races each week. It is obviously very different from if you watch a race playlist now. If you watch a whole episode of the race playlist, it's very very different. Episode 1 compared to episode 175 or whatever we're on now, 174. How many race playlists are we in by the time this goes out? It's not the document I want. I want this one. See, also I have a little bit more for my scheduling than I used to do back in the day. This whole thing's a schedule. Race playlist. Okay, well, so we'll be on 174. So, cool. So 174 episodes of the race playlist, and it's quite different. Back then we didn't have a points run. We kind of went with whatever was in the game points was in the game points. You lied out. That's unfortunate. Try to rejoin. So if you go in and you click on the playlist on the channel of the race playlist series, you'll see that there's actually 176 episodes or whatever. There's 2 more than the total number there are, because when I was recording on Twitch, it cut out and I had to start again, because again I didn't have as good internet in 2016 as I do now. So content wise, we could do way more stuff with the internet that I have. But yeah, the race playlist was really really big in 2016. Overwatch was also big to it, and we started really doing more of a schedule of this video is going out at this time, this video is going out at this time, this video is going out at this time. Right, there was more of that. It is more of a set schedule. Race Plus was always on a Friday. Historically, it was pretty much always a Friday series until last year, when it kind of became a Wednesday series. But that was always on Friday. Overwatch, Wanyá and I did together. That was going up on, Thursday. This other video I did goes up on Tuesday. And things were more set specifically for the first time. So, let me grab a drink here. But 2017. 2017 was a big year. So 2017 was the first peak of the channel. The peak channel success came at 2017 and was not topped view-wise until we're on course to do that this year. But successive views, if you look at the view chart for like per day, that was the highest until last year. So it's one of those things that 2017 has a special place for me, for a lot of things that happened in 2017. Graduating high school, we had 1,000 views on the channel. We had that peak that we first hit of views. We had, I got my cat Fiesta. That was when I got her, so that was really special. That was all like basically in the same week. A lot of that stuff was happening. We also had the Warriors winning their championship in 2017. That was the first time I watched a basketball championship. That was super super special. That just sticks with me as well. It's all part of that. They're all lumped together. I remember getting Fiesta, and she was hanging out in the living room. She was so scared moving here, before she fully got settled in. And her and her sister Mystic, they were both so confused why I was like super going wild in the living room when the Warriors won the championship. But yeah, it was just it was a fun time. So that summer in 2017 was really special. And one other part to that was my brother had went on a trip. I don't remember where he went. I think that might have been when he went to Portugal. Or that might have been the year after. I don't know. One year he went to California, one year he went to Portugal. And I stayed at his house. When I was there, it was so cool because that was like the first time that I was 18. I was 18 at the time. So that was the first time that I'd ever really stayed at a house myself, right? I mean, I was obviously, I'd come home from school. My parents wouldn't be home, or they'd go somewhere on a, day. But it wasn't like the first time that I really had an experience of a whole week. Basically, this house is your responsibility. You're here, do whatever, right? Um, Looking back at it, had a car at the time to drive. That probably made it even more wild because I could have actually gone places. I probably would have, but I also didn't have money, so it didn't really matter. Well, I had some money that I was given, but you get the point. Um, so that was just a fun experience, and I brought all my video recording stuff, everything, so we could just keep doing videos. And I kind of made the kitchen into my office, or not the kitchen, the dining room. Dining room table became my office for like a week and a half, or I don't know if it was 2 weeks. I know that there was two different times I stayed there, so I'm trying to remember which one was which. I think that no, that was the Portugal one because I ended up going in the studio. I had a like the soccer banners that they hold up with like, the countries on. I have one that says Portugal. I don't know where it is now. I think it's in my closet somewhere. Um, but at the time, it was hanging up in my studio. Um, so that was wild. That was just fun. Besides the bear that knocked over the trash can. So cleaning up all the trash was not fun. But um, yeah, it was a fun experience being there, recording, having the space to myself. My parents would come for a few days because it was a fun place to be. Um, where he lived was the other kind of other side of the state, so it was a different experience, different places to go. So they came over for a few days here or there, but most of the time it was me by myself. Um, and that time of recording there really set up. Okay, I want to change this about my studio room specifically, redesign it, rechange it, have a different vibe to it. So we cleaned it up, got new floors. Had some money that I saved up from like years. Bought some new flooring. We repainted the room, uh, redesigned it, and that's when I got this desk. So I put a lot of time into thinking about how I wanted that room to be done, and it was really really cool. So that was that. 2018, we hit a new experience of content. 2018, we had our gaming content. I should also acknowledge the race playlist because that's very important. Continued through 2017 into early 2018, where we then kind of stopped. Um, in 2018 and one, I was doing a lot of activities with school because he was in high school still. He still had one more year. So he graduated in 2018. I graduated in 2017. So he still had time to be in school where I had more time to do whatever because I didn't start working until 2018. He was also working, so it just didn't really fit our schedule as much to record that. With him doing school and activities after school, and then whatever. So it didn't really line up with what we were doing. And I was super impatient with it, and I feel like we also weren't as committed to making the series work. Where now it's like, okay, we have a set time, even though we're working. He may be working till 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. We're recording this day, or if he wants to do something, if he wants to go out Sunday night to a bar, okay, let's record it Saturday night. We do that. We'll make it work. Where at that point, I don't think I was as flexible with my scheduling, so that was definitely partially on me, for sure. But 2018, we had a new things. I was into listening to K-pop. That kind of became a thing. Um, Interesting Korean culture in general. I mean, you see it along the walls here. It's something that it still interests me. It's not as prevalent of an interest. It's not like a thing that I look at every day and discuss every day, but it's still there. Um, so I got into that. We got all the albums. I got a whole two shelves of K-pop albums, posters, reviews of all that stuff. That was really a big thing, and Overwatch League was starting as well. And I was really giving a lot of analysis of Overwatch League, whether it be power rankings or whether it be discussions of teams or things like that. And that was really a fun time to kind of get into breaking down those sports, those types of things. And also, that was when I started doing videos here in my room. My room was kind of an off limit space. It was kind of just it exists. We'll do a few videos there, but it wasn't my main video recording location. My walls also had a lot less stuff on it. Um, but eventually got to a point where I was like, doing a lot of videos in this room and still just really enjoying it. And that was really it. Overwatch League was 2018. 2019, we had more Overwatch League content with a mix of gaming in there. We should also acknowledge how Premier Projects went over the channel. Premier Projects are bigger, overarching themes. 2017, 2018, we each had a vlog month, Vloguary. So January, we did vlogs. 2019 was the third Premier Project, and that was Return to Summer. And that was really my first time that I was questioning, do I want to make videos? And the thing was that throughout the history of the channel, I'd always taken a little bit of a break. Here or there, I would take a break and say, okay, this is my break this month, no content. And we even did it in 2022. So it's been something that I've just always sort of done. But at that point, I was like, do I want to make content? Do I want to continue? So we did Return to Summer. It was 3 months of gaming videos. The end of, or actually, it was technically 4, because it was the end of May to the end of August. And it was, okay, do I want to keep making videos? And I don't remember what the schedule was. I think it might have been like 4 or 5 videos a day, or a week, not a day, 4 or 5 a week. Just different content. And it was really a fun thing. And I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, I'm back. We did do Theme Week month, September 2019. And that was another, that was a key piece where, okay, this is the final thing. Because I was still a little bit on the edge after Return to Summer. I was like, okay, we're here. How do I feel about this? Theme Week month was brilliant. And that is what kept me in the channel. At that point, also other things that were going on. I had gotten to start working. In 2018, I was doing we had the videos with the bees, beekeeping, that type of thing, kind of under the table, working here or there. And that comes into play at the end of 2019. It was told, okay, you're done, unfortunately. And that sucked. So we go into 2020. And 2020, of course, is an interesting year. So I got a different job, working where I hated it. I had a coffee shop for 2 months. Wanyá and I worked together there, so that made it fun. That made it enjoyable. Well, working with him was obviously a great experience. And had we worked together at any other job, it probably would have been more fun. But working somewhere with somebody who's an owner of a business who's also just completely disregards you was not fun. So we go into 2020, and oh boy, is 2020 a wild year. So Wanyá and I decided to make a return to the race playlist back at the end of 2019. So 2020, race playlist is happening. We're working. March 2020 happens. COVID pops off. And we convinced the owner of the business that you should close down. Selling drinks through a window in a tight and closed space probably isn't the best to do when there's a beginning of a pandemic that nobody knows what the hell's happening. So we end up getting to not work. We get some unemployment money, which was absolutely brilliant. I was able to really upgrade my setup with the extra money that I had. Obviously, pay what I need to pay, but I had, because they were doing what, $600 a month, so, or $600 a week. It was $600 a week. Like, that was insane. Just money that you were getting for just having unemployment. I think that I got a little less than that because it factored in the amount of money that you should have got from your job, because the unemployment gives you a certain percentage. And I remember I got a check for one day because our work week started on a Sunday. Our last day was a Sunday. So I only got $70 for that day. So that factored into it was $30. And then So 30 on top of the 600, they take tax on it. I got like 550. Still not bad for chilling at home. All you have to do is go click on a computer, a few buttons, um, say, yeah, I'm still unemployed. You have to click like, they want you to click that you're looking for work because that's on regular terms of unemployment. You have to click that you're looking for a job. During that, they weren't requiring you to, but you still had to click the box or trigger the system to take you out. So, continue doing that. I bought a capture card. I was able to buy a computer. Well, my big desktop computer was actually one that my parents had. So I bought that from them by buying them a new laptop, and then giving them extra money. So bought that, and it was so cool to have all that sort of going on money wise. Of course, what was happening globally was yikes. Don't get me wrong on that. I realized after I said, I was like, yeah, that's. But it was an interesting time, being home. My mom was home for a few months. Um, Being able to make videos together with Wanyá still throughout part of that time. Summer hits. Wanyá and I have some issues arise between each other. Um, and we end up not talking to each other for like 8 months. Um, so that happened. So we go through 2020, the second half. I'm kind of doing my own solo content. I've moved into my room fully for videos because we had some other things happening. We had a new floor put in throughout the house, and my brother moved in because he had some things going on as well. So, and when he moved in, that was such a fun experience, such a fun time, which we'll get into in the next part of this. But content wise, we're sitting here recording. My TV's there. I'm sitting here, super uncomfortable chair because my gaming chair's moved because 2019 I kind of decided I want to do videos in this room, but then I kind of jumped back into that room a little bit for gaming content. When he moved in, that room was inaccessible because it was his bedroom. Also, when they did the floors, all the stuff from the house got thrown into that room that we could fit in there. It was just a interesting time having him move in as they're putting the floors because we had gotten linoleum or not linoleum. I don't know. Why I said linoleum. Like the plastic kind of floors. The I don't know what brand they're called. They're Life Proof Home Depot one. I don't know what the official name for it is. I just know the Home Depot brand, or the one they sell at Home Depot. So that was what we were gonna get, but the floor has a little curve in it, so you step on it and they'll unlock from each other messy floor. So we did a hardwood floor, so we had to get all the stuff come in. Everything's moved around. We had like a month of just plywood in the hallway, repainted the walls, all that. And it was just really interesting time. Again, my brother moves in the last day of them putting in the floors, so we're rebuilding the house. We had to move stuff out of that room because he's moving in. So my parents' room got filled with stuff. My room, the little space that I had, got filled. It was just a real wild experience, wild time. But it was fun. Also in 2020, we had a storm that took out the power lines to the house. So we had a week that I couldn't do any videos. I had to go watch F1 at my grandma's house in my car because she was still sleeping. So I asked her, hey, can I go watch this race and sit in your driveway? And she's like, okay. So I watched that. So 70th anniversary Grand Prix, I watched in my car on my laptop. So it was just absolutely wild time in 2020. So we go to 2021. Also in 2020, I started working at grocery store, which I absolutely hated, and was the job that I had the longest as an official job. Mine was a table job, I don't really count. That was a job that I had the longest until a few days ago when I hit the 9-month mark of working at Lowe's, which we'll get into later on as well. So I get this job working at a grocery store in November of 2020. Unemployment stuff's kind of winding down. Because I mean, it was one of those things like a lot of people thought, if I'm getting this money, why not? So once I got the job, worked that, hated it. 2021 came around, and we kind of took a break from content. We really did. There wasn't much content going out. A lot of the time I spent focused on just doing other things, because I didn't work much. I work like a few times a week, for only a few hours. So I didn't really make the most. It was like $12 an hour. Um, so there was that. I was selling stuff on eBay, which is still a thing that I'm working on here or there. It's not like I'm focused on adding stuff to it, but that's still up. But my brother and I just spent a lot of time just talking about different things, hanging out together. Like, it was just such a fun time at the end of 20, I think it was like August of 2020 until April of 2022. That time we got to spend together because he's 12 years older than me. So the last time we lived together was 2011. So, the experience of that, um, the age difference that we had in 2011, I was like 12. So, he would have been like, what, 25? Close to that? In that range, I'd imagine, I guess. So, in that range, there's a lot of differences that you have in things when you're um, 12 compared to somebody who's in their mid 20s. So, at the point now where when he moved in, I was 21. So, the experiences of things that we could understand and discuss were so much different, when I was little. So it was a cool experience to really have that, because I mean, we always, we'll talk about things or message basically daily, send each other some sort of meme now, but back then we still did, but it wasn't as frequent. So that really helped with that, I feel, because almost every day we're texting about something. Um, and at that point, just a lot of fun stuff. We went to play basketball like almost every day. That was fun. That was really really cool. But just the stuff that we did together in 2021 was well worth the majority break of content, because we spent so much time together that I didn't really think of, oh yeah, let me go record a video. And I still, one and I were starting to talk again. He sent me a message, um, but he had moved to Florida. Like, we really didn't start, you know, fully discussing things and talking more until like that summer. So I spent just a lot of time talking to my brother, doing stuff with him. We did a lot of stuff with like crypto and NFTs. We go like hang out downstairs for like the whole night, come and watch basketball. We go sit outside and just discuss things, look at stars. It was just a fun time, and 2021 has a very special place for that. And that really came to my mind when I was coming home the other day, driving home from work, looking up and seeing a plane go by. It definitely reminded me of that time, and just how special that time was. So we jumped to 2022, and obviously he wants to, move, which is understandable. Um, so we get to that point, um, and he moves to a place that's really really awesome. So it's really fun to go when we hang out there. So I was discussing with Wanyá. I was like, okay, why don't we do the race battles again? Because we started playing games together more. We did some Minecraft, jump into GTA, and it was just an overall, jumping back into the friendship that we built for uh, going on this year, 19 years. But, building on that friendship that we had for 18 years at the time. Uh, I do think that our time away from each other helped. It felt like there was a vibe that was weird towards that in 2020, which you may notice in some of the uh, race playlists from that time. So I felt there was a vibe. So I don't really think that it was bad for us to have time away from each other. But when we did come back, We pretty quickly just jump back into um, the same vibe that we had, right? And it was one of those things like, hey, let's record a race balls. Let's bring it back. Episode 103. So we did episode 100. We had 2 episodes that didn't really go out. We stopped talking to each other after recording them before they went out. So I didn't really want to put them out. So they sort of sat there for a year and they went out in 2021. So they count as our 2021 episodes. Because videos go by, or the race playlist, that goes by when it's recorded and not when it goes up. So that will count as a 2021 video, even though we didn't race in 2021. That makes sense. So 2022, we come back. The race playlist starts right back where it was. Episode 103. We're ready to go. And it's fun. We make a lot of tweaks to it, a lot of changes. And that's when content really starts to get back into the groove. We had 2020, 2021 was kind of dipped down, kind of a break. But 2022, we jump back into it. We start with the premiere project of Countdown to 10. We celebrate 10 years. And then from there, it's just really, really awesome. Another thing I forgot to mention that happened in 2021 is this dude. This dude shows up. His name is Inchan. You don't want to be held, my guy? Come on. He's like, nah, fam, I'm trying to sleep. So that's my guy, Inchan. When I mentioned the interesting Korean things, I named him after Incheon, the city. So we got some new cats. So again, 2022, we just jump back into content. We're making things. I'm doing different videos. We're discussing stuff. So much content. So much fun things happened in 2022. And we jump ahead towards the end of the year. Or actually, no, it was about March. And I decided I'm going to put out a video as a short. And I'm just going to start putting occasional video on TikTok. That's a short. Or a shorter video, TikTok, whatever, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever it is. It was a clip. A lot of people put out like racing clips. So there is one from the first race of the 2022 F1 season. They ask Max Verstappen how he feels about the Mercedes not being as fast. Of course, a lot of things between Red Bull and Mercedes in 2021 took place. So when the new regulations came out, the Mercedes wasn't fast. They asked him if he was disappointed, and he said he was very disappointed in a kind of sarcastic tone. And I was like, that will be good to put up as a, short little clips. I record it, upload it. And I'm just like, this is an interesting form of content. I never really explored shorts on YouTube. I thought TikTok was absolutely whack, and still do. So I explored that, and I was like, let's put these on TikTok. Let's make some shorts, put it on YouTube, and we did it from the race bus. There's some wild moments. We went into a corner, and I braked early. Wanyá went deep into the corner. I cut back over. He cut across, and we kind of like almost spun across the line. That was like our first short for GTA. And that was like, okay, this is fun. This is getting some views. Because most of the regular content would get like, I don't know, a few, 2 views. But that got like more. And I was like, okay, we're doing something. And then we just keep doing a few shorts here or there. I figure out the spacing of it by doing one a day instead of doing every short for that video in a day. Spread it out across a week. And we hit the end of the year. Content's still going well. We're still doing stuff. And the shorts start to pop off. I think it's the summer we get a little bit of a spike. Then we get a little bit more of a spike in like October. Then we hit November and we get 16,000 views in a month. And I was like, okay. Then we hit December and December gets 40,000 views in a month. And I was just like, damn, that put 2022 at our 3rd most viewed year out of nowhere. Coming off of 2021, which was our 2nd least viewed year ever, to hop into the 3rd most viewed. And it was just like, okay, let's carry that momentum into 2023. So let's discuss, before we jump into that momentum in 2023, other things that were happening throughout 2021, 2022. So I had worked at my other job that I hated at the grocery store, so I quit that. Did a little bit of DoorDash or Uber Eats. I did Uber Eats for like a month or two. Then I started working at Target for a few months, um, seasonally. That was really, really fun working in the electronics for about 2 months. I was hoping I would get to stay there full time, or not full time, but stay there as a regular employee after that. But unfortunately, that was not the year that they were keeping people on from seasonal. Um, so I had enough money saved for a few months. I was able to pay things that I had to do. Did have to um, borrow some money from my parents, so I'm really thankful that they were able to let me do that and had the money that I could. Um, so it comes to the summer of 2022, and I was like, well, let's apply somewhere. And I applied to Lowe's. Lowe's is the place that I had applied to previously when I was looking to work at Target. I had applied at Lowe's at the same time, and I did get a call back for an interview, or that they wanted me to, whatever. But I already started working at Target, so I didn't take that. So I was like, I already got to that process once at Lowe's. We can do it again. So I did. I applied there, got a call back, come to an interview, went in, and it was interesting because I had never actually been to a home improvement store by myself ever, because I don't need to. So it was a weird experience going into Lowe's. I didn't know like what I was doing because I'd never been in there like by myself. So I didn't really like look around. I was like, okay, I go with my parents. What do we need, right? Or and it was interesting. So I started working there, and now we've hit 9 months of it. So I like it. I've had a good experience. There hasn't really been too much things that are like super negative from it. I mean, obviously each job has their own issues, um, but it hasn't been a experience that I've disliked. It's definitely higher up on the jobs that I like. It's right there with working at Target. Like those are my top two. So definitely enjoyed that. Um, yeah, it's been good. So that happened. That's great. Looking forward to a year there. Definitely want a 1 year patch. That's what I want. Of all the patches and stuff that they have that you can get, I want that, because I haven't had a job, official job, for a year, and that's really kind of annoying that hasn't happened. Because that's not what I want to not. That's not what I want. I want to be able to say I work somewhere more consistently. So I do get that. That I'll be very excited about. I don't care to get stars or whatever. I just want the one that says 1 year. That was like my goal, like going into a day one, was I hope this is good so I can be here for a year, at least. Um, and then I can keep working on YouTube and hopefully that pops off. But again, that was before shorts started doing their thing, more views, and we'll dive into that now. So 2023, that's where we're at currently. At the end of 2022, because Wanyá and I try to do at least once a month, hang out together. Obviously, we talk to each other almost every single day, whether it's through texting or playing video games. But one day to actually spend together, maybe go eat, go record, do something. All right, have one day a month together. So our December meeting, uh, he had brought over an RC. I think it might have been in November, and I crashed it into a fence, and it broke the piece in it somehow. So he brought up another one, and we went walking through the woods. And that's when we started talking about making content, discussing having him as a full time creator, on the channel, not just. I mean, obviously he's been contributing to the channel since 2012, and I don't want to diminish that, but actually as like doing your own videos, doing this instead of, hey, we're part of the series together, or you wanted me to pop onto an Overwatch video, okay. Like, no, do your own content. That'll be brilliant to shift the channel from just me and WCW as a name for myself and make WCW the name for our channel. And if you notice some of the titles of the race playlist, we don't really use WCW in it, as I did before, referring to myself. I refer to myself in the titles as Curtis to help with that WCW as a brand and not so much as just, my thing. Of course, my name in video games is going to be WCW 47. That's still there. But also change the channel name from WCW 47 to WCW. All of that happened. Redesigning the logo and really getting Wanyá in there doing his own content. So that's why every Saturday now there's an RC video from him. So that has just been really, really fun to have him involved. Jump into January, his videos every week, the shorts from it, and content continuing to pop off. Seeing December, February, March, all those months hit the most viewed and surpassing each other in months has been awesome. Subscribers going up, have new people. Really excited to have more people watching the content. And just everything that comes along with those things has been so awesome, so cool. And I've just loved having him part of the content. So that gets us to where we are now. Shorts, a lot of premiere projects that we've done. And, we got to discuss things that are coming out in the future of the channel. So, what's next? Well, Beyblade content returned to the channel for the first time since 2013, back in February. Our February event was my birthday. That was our day that we were hanging out together in February. And a few days before, I went into, probably like a week before, I went into Target on a How to Meet day he was working. And there was Beyblade, and I'm like, Beyblade video for the memes? So that sort of turned into our video. That turned into what we did. We got Beyblade, and then there was the RC car that he got for me for my birthday, which was super, super awesome. There was that. So we can make RC videos together, and we can do Beyblade things, and we got into the whole Beyblade burst right at the end of it. But we each bought a bunch, did unboxings, all that content that goes along with it. And that's what you're seeing here in March. And it's just so awesome. March being the most viewed year in the history, or most viewed month this March in the history of the channel. So awesome to see that. Of course, a lot of the success of this channel came from one stream, Just Cause 30 Bridge Fun. And to finally have other content that maybe one video isn't surpassing it, but 1 month is having a lot of content that, is bringing in a lot of views is so awesome to me. So awesome. So cool. Oh, I love it. I'm having so much fun. This has been probably the most fun that I've had on videos. So, that's what we did. That's what we're doing. And coming in whatever month is going up, April, we have EpiCW's Most Wild April 23. So last few years we had EpiCW's Wild June. And the plan for that is 2 videos a day. I'm introducing a new series. We're having Let 'Em Cook. That's a cooking series. I'm super excited about that. Wanyá is introducing a new series of Beyblade content. Every Tuesday, you can see him do Beyblade content. Let Him Cook, that's going to be every Thursday. His RC content will still be going out on Fridays. The race playlist will be going out on Wednesdays still. GT Online Racing Masters, our new series where we take on people in GTA races as a team instead of against each other. That goes out on every Sunday. That started in the beginning of March. So much cool content. And I still have one more series that I'm working on. I don't want to announce it because I don't have a name for it, but we got one more new series. Like WCW's Most Wild April. The reason it's Most Wild is because there's 2 videos a day. And I'm just thrilled. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to it. But now, before this video ends, I want to hand it over to Wanyá, let him do his piece of what he thinks of the channel, having his own influence on changes to the channel and his own influence on what videos he puts out. So let's hop over and hear what he has to say.
So, I'm here today to talk about content that I've put out on the channel over the last year. Many of you may know I'm Wanyá. I've been making videos with Curtis for the better part of 9 or 10 years on his channel as a guest on majority of his videos. But last year, he had granted me the opportunity to make my own content on the channel, on his channel. For those of you who were following Epic CW 47 before it kind of merged into what it is today with Epic CW, it used to be all of Curtis's content. He'd post vlogs, he'd post Beyblade videos, he'd post video games, he'd post whatever, food videos, food content. But again, last year he gave me the opportunity to make videos on my own when I had started getting some RC cars. We talked about a little bit of Beyblades and GTA. So with all of those things, we thought that it would be beneficial for us to put all of that together on his channel. Instead of working separate, we could work together and put all of our content onto one channel, and that is what Epic CW is. That's what Epic CW means. As I was saying, started off with the RC content back in September, October. We were talking about that. I went over his house, and essentially we drove around my RC car, and we were talking about how it would be cool to make some videos. And honestly, even 6 months ago from when I was making the content first, and I was kind of new to it for RC related content, it was a big thing for me. We've upgraded a lot. I've gotten a lot more cars. I've gotten better at recording. I've gotten better at driving those cars. So all of it has just been an amazing journey, a fun journey, because I've been able to do what I like to do. And we've been seeing very positive feedback on that. We've been getting comments. We've been getting a lot of people liking and subscribing over the past 6-7 months. It's a really big burst that we haven't seen on the channel at all for the 10 years that it was on YouTube. So to see content finally paying off and getting views for it, may it just be like a couple hundred or a couple thousand, it still means a lot to us. So again, every time we say, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, leave a like, subscribe, whatever, it really is appreciated. Every single person who comes to watch our videos every day, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to Curtis, because we put a lot of time, effort, and money into those videos, and we have been for the past 11 years now. And again, to finally see it paying off it really, I don't have the words to describe it. I would like to get to a point where we're self-sufficient with just doing YouTube, where we can put all of our time, money, and effort into YouTube instead of doing what jobs we have now. But of course, that's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of effort, and it's going to take a lot more connection with our community. And that's something we hope to build over the next couple years with being with you guys. Hopefully YouTube stays on and popping. With the Susan getting bumped out as CEO and hiring Mohan, with the changes to YouTube Shorts, monetization on that, we've seen a lot of success in our videos, and that's why we've been putting out so many shorts over the past year. That's why we've been doing more videos to get people to go from the shorts to the videos, because we put a lot more time into the videos than we do the shorts. But we like to provide interesting and entertaining content on both sides. So we did realize that early on and try to adapt the shorts into our content. I think it's been working out. Like I said, we've been doing PS5, PS4, GTA online racing, and recently we've started a new series, GTA Online Racing Masters, which basically is a series where we try and go 1-2 in 3 out of 5 races on GTA Online against the community, because when Curtis and I race, we don't really get to see the intensity of racing together, because Curtis is a lot better at racing than I am, but I'm a lot better. We both collectively are a lot better at racing the community, so we decided to take up that challenge by every week doing a series where we face the community, and hopefully we can build that community up in GTA as well, and have some people we raise frequently online. That would be pretty cool. Really just seeing the progression of all these different things, for my RC car content, the Beyblade content. We got Beyblade Generation X coming out. I just did a video a couple weeks ago on the Beyblade Generation X trailer. If you guys haven't checked that out, go and check that out. It's something that Curtis and I have been interested in since the beginning. Curtis a little bit more than me, but I've definitely liked what they did with Beyblade Burst, and I'm excited to see what they do with Generation X for Beyblade. And yeah, honestly, it's going to take this channel far. I think that with the different kinds of content that we make evolving over time, nothing stays the same, nothing stays stagnant. I think that that is something that's unique to our channel, and something that we can really utilize while we're getting kind of more traction on YouTube, more viewership, more subscribers. We can utilize that content, the different types of content, to get a bunch of different people in and build our own community of people who like what we do, and also enjoy doing what we do as well, and we can talk about it in a safe space. But no, really, seeing the channel progress over 11 years has been wild, from the time that we'd used tripods up until today, where we still use tripods, and we're recording Beyblade, how that's changed over the years, recording video games off of our TV screens, and now being able to do that with the program that we have built into the PS5 and Xbox and all these different types of consoles that we have, computers. So we really have done what we can do to utilize the technology that's been given to, or that we've obtained over the years. And it's something that I hope that we can continue to build on. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what the channel has in the future to come. And again, I'm very excited to just try new things for this channel. Just try a bunch of different content. I'm sure me and Curtis have bounced around ideas just in the past couple of weeks. So we have big projects coming up on the channel. This month we've got Epic CW's Most Wild April, a series that in the past we've done Epic CW's Wild June, where we do 1 video a day. This year we're doing 2 on April every single day. So we've got big projects coming up later in the year. September, October, we have huge projects coming up. September is my birth month, so we're going to be doing content related to me and what I've been doing. There's also marks the year of the time that I've been making content on the channel, so we will see how that goes and see if we celebrate anything for that. But yeah, this is basically just a little snippet of how I felt about making content on the channel. Again, I'm very, very excited to see what we have in store. I'm going to throw it back to Curtis. Thank you so much again, Curtis, for letting me make content on your channel, on our channel. It means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to you to kind of involve me in more ways than we did in the past. And honestly, I think it helps both of us out. It helps the channel having kind of another face on here, making content, different types of content, different perspective. And I hope to continue with another 11 wild years on YouTube with you. So it's just a little message to Curtis there for when he's editing. But yeah, still back to Curtis. Thank you all for watching. This is Wanyá. See you in the next video.
All right, so that was really cool. Awesome to have Wanyá involved here, in the channel overall, and the breakdown, the 11-year story. Of course, he's been important to the channel since 2012, and finally to get him to do his own content, shift the channel from WCW being me, WCW being us as a brand, is just awesome, and to have him part of that. And in this video, so cool. So that's that. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens throughout the rest of 2023, and where we take things into the future, into 2024. But yeah, we also have one more premiere project planned for you guys in the end of the summer, and we're going to be working on that a lot. So I'm very, very excited for that. So I hope you guys are as well. Um, so yeah, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.